It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Led Zeppelin over the hills and far away. In 1979, the Police, a band from England, they played a gig in London. And John Bonham's son, Jason, who was like 13, said, Dad, the Police have the best drummer on earth. He's the best drummer alive. And John Bonham went, okay. And he goes, come on, let's go see him. Let's go see him. And so John Bonham took his young son, Jason, to see the Police. And John Bonham was like, oh, jeez, this guy's pretty good. And went back and told the kid, hey, man, you are on something special here. And he said in a few interviews, that kid in the Police is pretty special. Why am I telling you this story? Because at 9:30, that kid in the Police, Stuart Copeland, will be on this show.
Wow.
What?
There you have it.
One of my favorite drummers, and I say this sincerely, one of my absolute favorite drummer that I've never ripped off a single thing from. Like, just such a different approach to the instrument. But, man, I love Stuart Copeland's drumming. I think he's an awesome, cool dude. He's got a great new book out, and we're talking with him, and I'm really excited about it.
That's great.
I spent my 17th birthday in the company of that man on the Ghost in the Machine tour. I mean, we were like, in the same room, but we were kind of far away, if you catch my drift. But that was pretty great. We were talking just a moment ago before the show went on about music. Candace made the mistake of asking me what I thought of Joni Mitchell, and then I went right down a rabbit hole, and by the end of the conversation, I have both sides now on loud, and I'm like literally holding back tears. And I just mentioned, like, no, I can't listen to Joni before the show, because then I'll get all these emotions, and then I start to get excited and miserable, and it led to, here's where it ended. Let's just cut right to the chase. Brian Zepp, what song makes you cry?
Oh, man.
Is there one? Is there a song?
I was just going to Google Joni Mitchell.
Is there?
Was the Pave the Parking Lot, was that hers?
That's her.
Yeah.
That's her.
All right. See, I know a song by
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell.
Big yellow taxi.
Let's just call it like this, okay?
No,
You're 3 or 4 drinks in, a couple cocktails. You're in a good mood,
I already
you're
got the answer.
maybe a little nostalgic. You could be anywhere in the world with anybody. Is there a possibility that you could hear a song come on and suddenly find yourself crying?
Every time. If you want blood, you got it. AC/DC.
Attaboy. I suggested. I said you were going to say Battle Hymn of the Republic, and Tony said Flight of the Valkyries. Right in the middle is If You Want Blood, You Got It.
Yeah, no, mine's very cliche. Cats in the Cradle always gets me.
Oh, really? Okay. See, I like that. Of course it does, especially once you have kids.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I felt like I needed to measure up to that. Ignoring my children all those years just to fall into a
Just
cheap
like Pops.
narrative. Yeah,
and now they're both in radio, and you're like, oh my God, I'm living the song. They're just like me.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Tony, what is it for you?
Wipeout. No. It would be...
Well, Harry Chapin died in a car crash, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Wipeout.
there you go.
The truth is, the song by Andrew Gold called Lonely Boy. I will.
yeah.
If I hear it,
Sure.
I'll start to well up. I'm not sure why.
Dun, 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 dun. It's an up-tempo, chippy tune, but it's a sad lyrical content. That makes sense. Candace, which Black Sabbath song brings you to tears?
Oh, I mean, there are a couple that make me emotional, but no tears, really. I brought it up because Joni Mitchell's River is the song that makes me cry.
Oh, see, I didn't even get around to your answer. Oh, really? That's the one that does it?
Yeah.
Oh, Joni.
How about you there?
Well, it's funny because when this conversation was happening, what was playing was I Want to Rock by Twisted Sister. And I thought, but there's someone out there who literally every time I hear I Want to Rock, I just go back to those days on Long Island. It was beautiful. That's what I used to have. I used to have a 34-inch waist. I had those jeans that rode up high. It was great. My life made so much sense. For me, I said that Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now, will do me in. But there's a lot of music that can get me. If I go back to my childhood, and again, like Tony said, or like you said, Zep, almost a cliche, a couple songs from the 70s will do me in. One is, oddly enough, Claire by Gilbert O'Sullivan. Mm-hmm. I later learned it's a song he wrote for his niece. He was just a doting uncle. I didn't know that, but just the tone of the song always broke my heart. But then, of course, there's always Shannon Is Gone. Oh. Shannon has gone away. She's drifted out to sea. And then, of course, the all-timer, Seasons in the Sun. Oh, Terry Jacks.
Yeah.
Just get out of the way, man. I mean, if the smell of chlorine in the pool and that song on an AM transistor radio, and I am beside myself with grief. We've all got them, interestingly enough.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, and man, that last song by The Doors was short. You always forget. You got when the Doors come on, get ready. If it ain't Light My Fire, it's only 2 minutes long. Usually, there's a great way of knowing if a Doors song is good, and that's because it's less than 3 minutes long.
Hey, this seems like an attack.
That was just for you. That was just for you, Candace. I've got some little Doors information I'm going to share with you a little later in the segment.
Exciting.
Spoiler, teaser, look out. It is time to go west, young men. Mike Evans with the Hollywood Report. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning. Don't forget, today's Tuesday. Mark is proud to announce the Value Tuesday. It's been a big success all year long. Going to continue.
Nice.
Go see a movie today. Yeah, Marcus Theaters, you bet.
Get to it.
Scoopage, so Kanye West is going to start his own TV news channel. Comment, no comment. I don't even watch the news anymore. Do you watch the news?
I get bits and bops, and I read a lot of news. I don't watch a lot of news.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too. About the reading.
Do we have a name for this fledgling network?
Not yet. It's going to debut it the first part of the year.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I really look forward to making fun of that when it launches.
Oh, I bet. Me too.
Easy
Movie
TV.
news. Like movie news, despite currently shooting right now, Academy Award winner J.K. Simmons has been added to the cast to star in the movie called Juror Number 2.
Okay.
It also stars Nicholas Hoult and Kiefer Sutherland. It's directed by Clint Eastwood. Juror Number 2 is supposed to be a great movie, and this will be Clint Eastwood's final movie.
Oh, boy.
Another reminder, I really love Maestro and Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan star. Mm-hmm. And this is a great movie. It's in limited play right now, but it will be streaming December 20th everywhere. So
wow.
Look for Maestro.
Okay.
Not all the news is good, though. I'm really shocked that Beyonce's movie has been a huge box office disappointment so far.
Really?
Yeah, especially domestically, doing better overseas. But all box offices been down. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too.
Wow.
I don't know if people are tired of sitting in the movies for 3 hours, or maybe it's the Christmas season. Maybe that's it. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
TV news. Do you have Netflix?
Yes, sir.
Well, Netflix is in serious negotiations to carry a lot of live sports in 2024 and a lot more.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, Mike. They've been saying for years, no interest. And every time they say no interest, I'm like, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's the last great frontier because it'll never go away. If they get on live sports, it's kind of game over for a lot of people, I think.
I agree. Hey, speaking of sports, how about the New York Giants and Tennessee?
Well, those Titans, I'm a fan. As you know, that's my team. But I will say, might have gotten in the way of a little side wager I had on comeback victory. I'm done on this season. I'm like, look, we can't make the postseason. Probably, let's go. And then they come back and win. And then the Giants. Go figure. My mistake, thinking Jordan Love had figured out how to play football. I had a bad night. I'd rather not talk about it. Thanks for turning the knife in my back again, Mike.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Everybody raves about California and the weather, but it's just been announced that California in 2023 had some floods, some blizzards, some tornadoes, some hurricanes, 8 earthquakes that were 2.8 or greater on the Richter scale. Still got that stinky smog. It's warm, but they got some weather in California.
There's a lot of weather in California. Mike, I was in the 94 Northridge earthquake. I assume you were as well.
I was.
Whereabouts were you? What part of town were you in?
I was in Redondo Beach.
Oh, okay. So
not the valley. So
good and south. Yeah, all right. Ooh.
Still the shaker though, boy.
I don't ever need that again. That's the scariest thing I've ever gone through.
I played golf that morning early and played with two guys I'd never played with before. And around the 12th hole, they left. I go, "Why are you leaving for?" And they didn't talk the whole round. They go, "We just flew in yesterday, and after that earthquake, we made reservations and we're leaving." I go, "It's not going to happen again in the next hour or so." They were out of there. A lot of people.
Hey, man, those aftershocks were good enough
they
for
were.
me. I was on a red eye that night. That was 4 a.m. earthquake and a 10 p.m. that night flight back to the East Coast. I was like, get me out of here.
There you go. And it is true that the documentary about the retirement community, the villages in Florida, there's several of them, 79,000 senior citizens, and these residents are involved in rampant STDs, black market Viagra, wild swinger parties. These Florida seniors using all the runway.
Yeah, you know what that's called? That's called not doing it when you were young and should have been doing it, and you're like, well, hell, I'm still here. Better late than never.
Done. You bet.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mike, can I ask you one quick question?
Yes, sir.
Is there one song on earth that if the mood is right, you're sitting somewhere, you've had a couple glasses of wine, the minute that song comes on, you feel a tear form in your eye, it can make you cry?
I would say it's probably "I Got You, Babe."
Oh, man. The number one song in America the day I was born. Look it up. That's a true story.
"I Got You, Babe"?
Yeah. That was it. And that's and you go back with Sonny and Cher. That makes perfect sense.
I was there when they recorded it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. You buried the lead there.
Oh.
I knew you were friends with them. I didn't know you were in the house when they recorded it.
No, but I was in their house a lot.
Yeah, I mean studio is what I mean by that.
I met their house. I knew them when they were Caesar and Cleo.
Oh, that's a whole story for another day.
Yeah,
You've given
get
us
out of
something to
here. Have
talk
a great
about.
day.
Right
See
on,
ya.
Mike. See ya. Man, talk about a tangent that had legs.
Right.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
That's right. It's always Tuesday around here. Wow. All right. Fair enough. Mike Evans with the "I Got You, Babe." And I only know that because earlier this year we were talking about the number one song when we were born, and that was the one when I was born.
Yeah.
Oh, someone just brought in a weird sort of pan flute to the studio that day. Yeah, play that. That sounds good.
Lay it down.
It's pretty funny, man. Back in the day, it was like groundbreaking new music was just simply a sound nobody had used yet. That would be considered, that's new.
The
Yeah.
sitar. Remember
Yeah.
the sitar?
Hell yeah.
The Beatles brought the sitar in. I don't know if they were the one that introduced it. I feel like they probably were, but
Well,
that was
if
all the rage.
I guarantee you, if they weren't, the guy that did is still pissed off about it.
Right.
No, man. It was the fall of '65, and I put a sitar on the backside of a track on our second album, and then George Harrison comes along and took away my thunder. And there's some guy in some band you may have heard of still bitching about the Beatles took his idea. In fact, I bet there's a bunch of those guys out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it goes, you know?
Number one song day I was born. Beatles, We Can Work It Out. I remember when we did that list, punching it in there.
Oh, man, there's nothing wrong with that song. Man,
I'll
go
take it.
figure. Hey, you know, we talk a lot about, there's a lot of travel stories we talk about, but here's just a real quick hotel story, and I don't believe it. A businesswoman was at the Ritz in Paris. She lost an $800,000 ring from her room. She said, "I left it on the bedside table, and when I returned, it was gone."
Poor dear.
Did you ever take an $800,000 ring off your hand?
I wouldn't take it off my hand. I wouldn't take that hand to a foreign country because she was from Malaysia and she's traveling around the world doing big lady business stuff with an $800,000 ring. She accused the Ritz of someone stealing that ring. She filed a police report. She's flaming hot, blaming everybody. And again, to your point, left it on the table. The Ritz launched a search. And amazingly enough, they found the ring in the bag of a vacuum cleaner used by the cleaning staff.
Oh, wow.
So
So
it had
she was
clearly
right.
it had fallen on the floor and then was vacuumed up. At least that's the story the Ritz is telling. Something tells me they turned up the heat and somebody was like, I think I'm going to go find that in a vacuum cleaner.
So you left it on the bedside table, the $800,000 ring on the nightstand
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
then left the room
Oh, yeah.
without it?
Yeah,
Or you
that's-
just didn't
that's
walk
the thing.
away and brush your teeth. You just went, all right, I'll put this here and swing back later and get it. I don't feel sorry. If you're not keeping track of an $800,000 ring,
Yeah.
then, I mean, you get all the sympathy I get when I, lost my class ring at a kegger, my freshman year in college.
Yeah, the word is entrapment, by the way. I think
And they have
that's what
those
she's
little
looking for.
safes in the closet you can pop something in.
Yeah, right.
$800,000 ring. What the hell's wrong with people? All right, let's look back. How about a history lesson?
Now listen, everybody.
I am Steve, and now I'm going to teach you a lesson.
Here's a little bit of sports history for you. In 1899, on this day, George Grant got a patent, a U.S. patent for the wooden golf tee. Thank you, George. Need that
Roll
sucker.
over my truck. Thanks, George.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, think about how many golf tees have been sold since he got that patent. Billions and billions and billions.
Yeah.
All to grumpy people who wish they could do anything else with their time. In 2001, on this day, former Dallas Cowboy Nate Newton and 2 others were arrested on charges of carrying at least 175 ounces of marijuana. Oh, did I say ounces? I meant pounds.
Wow, Chiba.
Nate Newton, 175 lbs of weed. That's a truck. That's
Yeah.
a literal. An ounce is a huge Ziploc bag. This was 175 pounds. Oh, Nate. Sports history on this day in 2010, a little something went down here in the Twin Cities. Tony, play it for me.
It was the 5th biggest snowfall in the city's history. Workers tried to remove nearly 2 feet of snow from the roof of the Metrodome, home of the Vikings. But captured in this dramatic video, the sports stadium's massive 9.5-acre inflatable roof caved in and burst open, pouring snow onto the field. No one was injured.
We had 3 roof panels rupture, providing for deflation of the roof.
The collapse canceled Sunday's Vikings game against the New York Giants, who were unable to get there anyway because the Minneapolis airport was shut down for the first time in 19 years. The game will now be played on Monday in Detroit.
13 years ago. I mean, that's incredible because I wasn't here then, obviously. I remember that like it was yesterday. Like, hey, did you hear the Viking Stadium collapse? It was, everybody's like, wait, I'm sorry, what?
Unfortunately, it was repairable. Unfortunately, I was much hated by then. You know, when it came around in '81, it was oh my god. But then it was just it was just a piece of crap by then. But it did lead to one of the funnest NFL seasons of my life. I think probably the most fun I ever had, right, Candace? Because then we got to go right over here next door.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called now. I'm sorry. I'm not trying.
Oh yeah. What is it?
It was TCF Bank Stadium at the time. And
Huntington Bank.
Huntington Bank. Thank you, Candace. And so now here we were watching NFL football in a stadium that NFL football hadn't been played in, outdoor, that size, open end zones, for the first time since the 70s.
Oh,
Never in
awesome.
my lifetime.
Yeah.
It was snowing. It was cold. There was schnapps we were smuggling in. It was a once in a lifetime experience. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, I got really cheap tickets. I saw Brett Favre. I was like so
You
close.
saw him?
Yeah, he was right there. I was like in the front row.
And they had it was snowing. I remember one of the games we were out there. I mean, it was snowing hard. I mean, you didn't get that. We didn't get to experience that back in the 70s. And a smaller stadium like that, oh, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
We got a beauty of a stadium now. Nothing's going to happen to that. But
wow.
boy,
It
if
was
we could
funny too. Like it was snowing so much still even after that. So people would they would recruit people to go and shovel.
Yeah.
Like the stadium,
that's
and then
wild.
they'd get free tickets. And a lot of my friends did that.
Yeah, that was
very
awesome.
nice.
That's the way it should be. They should always, late into this time of the year, I think, have 1 or 2 games over there at Huntington Bank Stadium.
That would be
now, I
great.
think. Wouldn't it?
I missed all the fun.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, December 12th. That's the Scorpions. And it just dawned on me, we should have an elaborate system of whistles, like to communicate with each other. But only us on the morning show knows what they mean. Like we're all border collies together, and then we can shepherd each other around. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if we had a
you
whole...
guys, I can't whistle.
That's right.
That's kind of the point. Then Candace would never be able to take part. And no, that's not the point at all. That would be terrible. Yeah, be right there. Thanks. Cream or just sugar? That's Tony's coffee. Give me more coffee whistle.
It's something like that in the Sting, didn't they? It was like
Probably. That sounds about right.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If I whistle that march of was it?
Oh, yes.
March of the toy elephant, March of the baby elephants.
Oh, yeah, the old I'm drunk.
I was very excited last night watching the Tennessee Titans come back against all odds and beat the Dolphins. They scored 2 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes of the game. It made no sense whatsoever. The Titans, as I've said for years as a Titans fans, it's like real football on LSD being a Titans fan because, nothing happened. It all happens, but never in the order it should and never when it should. That's that's what it feels like to be a Titans fan at times. But Zepp, you mentioned Underdog Fantasy, which I love. I've been playing it all season long. I'm happy to be working with the Underdog Fantasy folks, and I love the pick'ems. And I had a great night last night, except I went away from my Titans picks for the game. I hit them all. But I went off the grid, and I thought, I think Jordan Love on a Monday night is gonna really turn up for a national audience. And I selected Jordan Love to have 2 touchdown passes. He had 1 touchdown pass, and had he just simply thrown a second touchdown, Stevie G would be sitting here on a very, very low entry fee. I'd be sitting on a couple grand.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's
You'd
crazy.
Be whistling Elephant Walk.
I'd be saying, top me off, sister. Let's go, brother. Papa needs some more hooch. But that's okay because you know what? I watched both games, and I was just excited. I get carried away. And you said earlier, sports betting, which is a big thing now, wagering, playing games, fantasy games, and otherwise around the country. I mean, it's a lot of people are saying it's changed the way we all watch sports. I'm more engaged than ever because now I'm not just watching the team I love.
Oh, yeah. No, you're engaged. It's just neurotic. I remember playing fantasy football, and it was, I'll be honest with you, I did morning shows where I don't even really remember doing the morning show. I was playing fantasy football. I was going through every damn stat, and we had people in our office here at KQ, and this was back when it first got started, like way back in 917 North Lilac Drive, late 90s. We're over there where they were blocking fantasy football on our computers.
Oh,
because
really?
Everyone was sitting in their cube.
That's great.
Fantasy. Yeah, we were too engaged.
That's
and at
awesome.
some point, I found myself rooting against the Steelers because I needed a running back for whomever they were playing at the time to get another touchdown, which would have beat the Steelers. I'm like, come on, give them the ball. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong here.
Well, my son last night, he's in L.A., we're texting, and his fantasy football league, he's still playing with a bunch of friends from high school, and they are down to the wire. He's in the last night was the end of the season, apparently, and his friend / enemy and he are the 2 final guys. His buddy had DeAndre Hopkins on his team, the receiver for the Titans. And Hopkins is lighting up the Dolphins in the second half. And my son is cheering for the Titans, but against his own receiver. And he was he was tortured because he wants his favorite team to win, but he was losing his fantasy league because of it. And I just via text, I was enjoying the meltdown, the duality of man exhibited in one simple football game. And of course, my son and I talk all the time about the moments that we all impact games. People always say sports fans are superstitious. It's not superstition. I look at it like, no, it's OCD. The position you're sitting in for a football game, if you've ever changed the way you're sitting because of bad things not going well in the team, you got some issues. I spent the 1981 Michigan football season where I couldn't look at the TV when Michigan had the ball. I swear to God, they were running every time I watched, they'd throw an interception or a fumble or get sacked, and I'd turn my back and they'd bust out a 27-yard run. And I started watching. I would literally turn my head away for entire offensive series. Because that's how ludicrous I am. That's the depth. And back then, I had a lot of other things, too. The OCD. You hear about obsessive-compulsive disorder, and you hear about, like, the most egregious or the heaviest cases. Abdul Rauf, the old basketball player, had so many things. He had to hit 100 free throws before he could leave practice for real. For years. He had to touch his certain feet to certain lines on the court while in play. In an NBA game, he was doing this kind of stuff. Now, I never had that bad, I guess, such a heavy case. But as an OCD kid, I never took a staircase without the top step I had to hit on my left foot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What if you didn't? Would you have to go back and?
Oh no, I would adjust. I would skip a step to make sure I did. And I could look up. I could look at a staircase, and in a blink, I never counted stairs. I knew exactly which foot was going to land from just looking up a flight of stairs. And I either just walked up or skipped a step to make sure my left foot hit the top landing. And if there was a moment in time when I didn't, because I was carrying something or just, running or something happened to throw me off, I would be aware of it for hours.
Yeah.
I was playing middle school basketball, and if I spun around, if I did a 360 playing defense, I would correct that and get back to true north during a timeout. Or I knew how many times I'd spun right and left.
Gorman, what are you doing out there?
I still have to buy, I buy things in threes.
Really?
For some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have to do that. It makes me uncomfortable.
Like everything?
Not everything, but bananas or,
But not like,
apples or something.
by 3 car batteries
No,
at a time.
but things that you can get like several of.
Yeah.
Has to be
He's
three.
got that one
Gotta be
bad
3.
tire on his car,
Yeah, one scraping the concrete.
Are you sure you don't want 4? We have a buy 3, get 1 free. No, just 3, please.
I'm reading here. Someone wrote. There's just a link I saw, and a woman wrote, "My husband's OCD about labels. If the labels on everything in the fridge or pantry aren't facing front, he has to turn them." Two thoughts come to mind. A, get that guy a job at Lunds and Byerly staff.
Yeah. Right.
And secondly, look what happened when Julia Roberts married a guy like that,
I was
sleeping
just
with
thinking
the
that.
enemy.
Yeah, you had to line up the towels exactly.
And but the labels on the jars too. Like he opened the thing and he saw a jar was skewed and he was like, "What's happening, Laura?" That's it, Laura.
That brings up a good point because a lot of that behavior then became we associated with being psychotic because of movies like that, and it's not, of course, like linked to being a psycho freak. However, when do you? Because I've got some weird ones too, and I think, when do I reveal those to someone I'm dating and not seem like you don't want to lead with that, like, oh, okay, you're mentally ill.
What's interesting, I have things I do, like when I'm here in Minneapolis, if Rosemary's back in Nashville, I notice that I do things a little differently when I'm alone. And like when I do the dishes, I will take a paper towel and I'll wipe out the sink at the end. I'll get rid of all the water in the sink.
Oh.
And I kid you not, if she's there, if the family's all around, it won't even occur to me. But if I'm alone, some of those things come back, and I'm just now actually realizing that. Because right now, my sink looks amazing.
That's so nice.
Good for you. I keep my sink full so I can't see how dirty it is.
A listener just texted, I have to take 3 paper towels after drying my hands, always.
3?
Yeah.
That's that power. That's a power number of the pyramid, baby.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend that had to gag herself on her toothbrush. Where you brush the tongue there, and you get that.
Yeah.
And she was really loud about it, and it would be like, ah! I'd be like, okay, that's not sexy at all. I mean, it's not why I broke up with her, but or why it didn't work out, as I recall. But it was weird, and I'd be, getting ready or whatever. I'd hear, are you okay in there? Yeah, just brushing my teeth.
I can remember first becoming aware of some of these compulsions that I had, and it was when I was 9 years old. And the announcement came that we're going to move. The family, we were going to move. We were in Maryland, and my dad got a new job. And originally, I spent the winter and spring of 1975 preparing to move to Wisconsin. That was the original plan. There's a town called Delavan, Wisconsin, and that's where the Gormans were going to move. And then at the last minute, the company that hired him said, actually, we want you to go to Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And when we got the rug pulled out, like 2 weeks before we're ready to go move to Wisconsin, all of a sudden my dad says we're going to Kentucky. And I remember thinking, the chicken place? Like, I didn't know that's all I could think. And my brother Doug goes, that's where they have the Kentucky Derby. And my dad goes, that's right. And then my other brother goes, is that where Daniel Boone is from? That's right. And I went, no, there's fried chicken. Like, we're like, okay, I guess we're going to love Kentucky now. Cute. But literally, that set me spiraling for control. I mean, my life made no sense. Next thing you know, I am counting the stairs. I'm landing on the left. I can look right back to being the summer I turned 10 to when all this stuff started. And one of the things I did for years, and I never thought it was weird. I was aware that I was doing it, but I didn't realize every conversation I had, every word I said, every sentence I spoke, was divisible syllable-wise by 4. Everything ended on the 4th syllable. I would add just or I'd go to add a syllable, and I saw a little square in my like ahead of me. It was like it was floating in front of me, 4 points of a square, and every single syllable I said went round and round, and they all ended on the top left, number 4. It's crazy, and I did that till I was in my late 20s.
So you couldn't just say yes, you'd have to go like, that's right, my friend.
I could, but it was hard. I mean, if I were just feeling it, I would say everything I said. And I do think the fact that I immediately, when I finally started drumming, I took to it pretty quickly because I never lost track of time, or I knew where the one was, like literally the one in drumming out of a fill. my OCD was incredibly helpful to be a really steady drummer.
Sure.
I was just so aware.
Baseball player.
I really should have. I could have used that. I could have been, the original Ohtani. Jeez. But we've all got these things. The people.
Oh yeah.
Checking to make sure the door's locked. My wife had a thing for years where if you handed her money, her first thought was, I hope I don't throw this away. She just had this thing like she would in the car if we're driving and I said here and I'd hand her a $10 bill, she'd like immediately make sure her window wasn't open, because what if I throw it out the window? And I'd be like, well, just don't. Like, what are you talking about?
There's no logic.
No logic at all.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it starts thinking about it, becomes a compulsion. OCD,
exactly.
Yeah.
And we got a car in 1994. We bought a brand new car, and the first day we were driving that car, it comes with 2 keys. Mm-hmm. And I said, here, I'm driving down Peachtree Road in Atlanta. And I said, here's the other key, because it was just in the little console. I said, here, go ahead and put this in your purse. And she grabbed it, and she immediately threw it out the window of a moving car. And she went, ah! She screamed.
Why are you?
And I went, what? She goes, oh, my God, I threw it out the window. And I'm like, you literally just threw a key to this car that we've had for 11 minutes.
That is fascinating.
And I had to pull into a liquor store parking lot and walk back and wait for the traffic to die down and run out into a 3-lane road and grab the key off the road.
Wow. There's
totally
something
insane
beneath the layers there. My buddy Jeff just texted me. 3 words, Allen Garage Door. We had a buddy, Alan. We lived with him. It was like 4 of us that all lived together back in the day. And Alan, whenever he would leave the house, we had a garage door, automatic garage door opener. We would leave the house. He would drive around the block to make sure it was closed. It's closed, dude. Mm-hmm. We just watched it close. Yeah. Watch it close before you leave. Okay,
sure. Sounds
good. Yep. You get out, left, and right. Yeah, we're taking a lap, aren't we here, Alan?
Man,
yep, there
awesome.
it is. It's still closed. He just couldn't get it out of his head. All right, we'll drive on here. We have some dog stories, too. This story, I knew they were going to come up with some of this. Many of us want to pump the brakes on technology, on advancements and everything, right? It's just coming at us so fast. The year of AI here in 2023. Whoa! Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Here's one that I've been thinking about for a while, and I knew they were going to come up with this one. It was too late for me. It applies to you. It's not too late for your big dogs. And also, how much would you sell your dog for? Everybody has a price. We'll get to that at 7:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. In about 30 minutes, we're going to give away tickets to something cool. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining that's the case anyway. I mean, why wouldn't we? That's what we do around here. At 9:30, Stuart Copeland, drummer extraordinaire, will be joining us on the show. Before that, joining us on the show in studio, Tim Harmston. So that's at 9 o'clock. We got a lot going on around here today.
That's going to be fun. He is the bomb.
The bomb. Looking very forward to both of those gentlemen's contributions to the morning show. As of right now, quick note, the KQRS Facebook post is up to a whole lot of tears, a lot of crybabies out there. The question was, what song makes you cry? And I want to get to some of those in a moment. But Zepp, speaking of crying, you mentioned before the break some technological breakthroughs involving our canine friends.
Oh, yeah. They've come up with an anti-aging drug. It just passed FDA approval, which is, as we all know, a big hurdle to actually getting the job done. But it's an anti-aging drug for big dogs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Clementine!
Just big dogs?
Just big dogs. Little dogs are going to live long enough.
Gigi's already going to live to be 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll outlive you by years. Here it is, the CEO of the company talking about this.
The goal of Loyal is to get the first ever drug approved for lifespan extension and health span extension. So number of years lived, quality of years lived for dogs, but also just in general. And then use that momentum, the insane amounts of biological insight, the competency of a translational team to go and build the first ever human aging drugs.
That's the end game right there. That'll make them some money, getting the big dogs to live a little bit longer. People will plunk down the dough for that, but it's all about anti-aging for the adults. And by the time this gets through FDA approval for the dogs and then the humans, we're talking about 15 years, they're speculating, before we have a good anti-aging drug, which is just so our cells aren't breaking down. In other words, I'll be in my 70s or something. It'll be long. It's not an age-reversing drug. It's just, boom, we're going to stop the clock right here.
Dogs will be gone by then.
I don't care about the dogs, Tony. I care about my knees.
Put me in
skiing and dirt biking and
selfish.
I am selfish. Especially when it comes to aging.
Put me in a time machine, and the great Clementine is coming with me. That's the all-time. We love Chauncey. My God, who doesn't love Chauncey Gorman? But Clementine was Rosemary, and that was our first dog, and she was a 100-pounder lab Rottweiler mix, and just the absolute. That she was the bomb, to quote Candace Wheeler.
What if someone had offered you $200,000 for Clementine?
I would have said absolutely not, and because contextually at the time I was dumb.
I don't believe this couple for a second. I think it was one of those things people say, well, I'll give you $1 million for this cute little puppy. But here's what they posted on TikTok a couple of days ago. It's blowing up.
Someone offered us $200K for our puppy, and I told my husband absolutely not because I birthed her.
What?
Would you guys sell your dogs for $200K? That is my baby. That is my baby. I birthed her. That is my child. There's no money. I would not sell her.
Yeah.
But it just got me thinking. I'm I wonder if people would have taken that $200K.
I wonder. Weird.
Oh my God! Let me tell you who would have taken the $200K. 99.99% of everybody who's ever lived.
Yeah, the honest.
That's life-changing money for most people.
You wouldn't seriously, Can?
Gigi, are you serious?
Yes.
You could go visit her. Give her a treat.
All right. It's time for the KQ Morning Show's GoFundMe. Let's raise $200,000 and put Candace Wheeler's loyalty to Gigi to the test.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Right? When in cash, right there in front of, boom, right there it is, 200 G's. By the way, you're getting a lot more than that. They say it costs about $4,800 a month to have a dog, or a year. I'm sorry, $4,800 a year to have a dog. So you get the $200,000 and you're making money every year.
Hold on. Here's the thing: $200,000 for your dog. That's not so they can take your dog and go put it to sleep. They'll take your dog and give it a loving life. If someone who's going to pay $200,000 for a dog is going to treat it a lot better than you. Sorry, Candace. I didn't mean to be so rough.
Take the money.
No.
Fancier dog sweater.
You don't understand. You guys just don't understand how amazing Gigi is. She's so perfect and sweet and soft. And
did you give birth to her?
I birthed her.
Don't you want her to be rich?
Yeah.
Maybe she'll marry a doctor.
She couldn't have with you. I'd sell one of my kids for $200,000.
I tell you what, as long as you're here, I'm just going to come clean. And Candace, I'm sorry, but when I see Gigi, all I think about is putting lotion on that. Putting the lotion back in the basket.
Yeah.
I see Gigi and I just think, God, there's a dark tunnel in your house in Richfield, and there's some girl, senator's daughter down there, and you just lowering the lotion in a bucket.
It rubs the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the hose again.
That's right.
The hose. Candace is already. She doesn't like to wear clothes at home. She's talked about this over and over. We can all picture Candace with a boa dancing with Gigi in front of the mirror. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, it happens weekly.
Well, it's funny because you talk about dogs and, would you give up a dog for $200,000? We mentioned earlier in the show, as I said, songs that make us cry. And I referenced a song from the 70s, Shannon Is Gone. That's a song written about a guy's dog. The lyrics, Shannon is gone now. She drifted out to sea. She always the guy's dog ran. The guy lost his dog.
That's the first time I've heard the song.
Well,
how close do you think you were?
Not close. I used to be able to hit that note, but no, it's too far. No, it's about a guy whose dog swam away and never came back. And boy, that used to the waterworks would just turn on as a kid. I thought it was sad before I even knew what it was about. When I heard it was about a dog and not about some girl named Shannon, devastating.
Keep going.
What passed for pop gold in the 70s? The guy's dog went away.
I'd rather listen to Christmas music.
Man,
how about Timothy, when the song was about eating their friend underground?
Yeah. By the way, the chorus, Shannon is gone. I heard she's drifting out to sea. She always loved to swim away. Maybe she'll find an island with a shaded tree, just like the one in our backyard.
No. Shark ate her.
Heartbreaking.
Nothing to eat.
Crushing. Yeah.
By the way, that song would do nothing to Carrie, who posted on the Facebook page, my husband tells me I have a black heart and ice cold blood running through my veins because I don't like sappy music.
That was the first Facebook post I liked. You can check it. I liked it personally. First Facebook post I liked since 2009.
That's the one you liked?
That's the one I liked.
Carrie coming clean with the black heart and ice cold blood, and Zepp's like, my girl.
High five, Carrie.
Man. That's crazy. I literally haven't heard that song Shannon in decades.
I do remember it. I just had suppressed it in my memory. Yeah.
Julie wrote, "I'll be home for Christmas." Honestly, yeah, I had no choice but to tear up at that one because when that song first hit the radio, it was my dad's first holiday away in the Marine Corps, and he would talk about it. And he admitted that the first time he heard it, I was at the mess hall and by myself Christmas morning, and he talked about he cried, and that was like this. When my dad would tell a story about it, I cried. We were supposed to then, of course, cry too.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zepp, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
The greatest ever James Bond theme song. I will die on that hill quite happily. Maybe because Live and Let Die is the first Bond film I ever saw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Coming in, it was 70s. It was one of those Roger Moore ones. When I went back.
The first Roger Moore one, I believe.
Oh, was it? All right.
I think so.
I love that one. It's right up there. I don't know, Goldfinger.
I went back after and discovered. And then, of course, the whole thing with I made the mistake of going, I don't like this James Bond. And my parents are like, Sean Connery's the only Bond we recognize in this house.
We have no son.
Yeah. Exactly right. There used to be 8 of us. Now there's 7 because the youngest has not got a clue. On the KQRS Facebook post today, we're saying favorite songs. What song makes you cry? We've all got a few. And I'm looking at the post. My goodness, there are so many on here. And somebody, I just lost it. Somebody put on here Cheap Trick's The Flame. Kurt wrote The Flame by Cheap Trick. And when that song came out in 1988, late 87, it got ripped apart by the purists, the rock fans. They didn't even write it. It's like pop crap. Let me tell you something. I'm right with you, Kurt. I love The Flame.
Yeah.
I worked for me from the get-go because, Robin Zander can sing a nursery rhyme, and I'm going to go, listen to that guy's voice. Jennifer wrote Without You by Nilsson. Yeah. And by the way, my mom's favorite song, and she writes a post about that was a song they were playing a lot as her mom was towards the end. And, and I do want to say, man, the comments we get and some of the calls where people really just express what they're feeling and share stories like that, that's incredible. Thank you for that, Jennifer. That's really it's sad and also very warming to see that post. And I'm glad you love that song. That's great. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah. And then we have Michael on the other end of that spectrum with My Way by, I lost it too, by Bill Shatner.
Oh, my God. Any Shatner is, that'll make me cry, but just because I'm literally in the fetal position laughing so hard my stomach
Especially
hurts.
Tambourine Man.
Oh, my gosh. The video of Tambourine Man.
Mr. Tambourine Man? Moment.
I love it.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette.
Hey. In the jangle morning, I'll come following ye. Turns into an Irish brogue. It's incredible. Oh, we could talk music all day long. Speaking of music, in case you hadn't heard, Def Leppard and Journey with Steve Miller Band at Target Field Monday, August 19th. Tickets don't go on sale till this Friday, the 15th. 92 KQRS is delivering 12 days of Def Leppard and Journey tickets. Listen all day, every day for your shot to win. And speaking of shots to win, if you don't, what do they say? You miss every shot you don't take. Isn't that what Wayne Gretzky used to say?
Yeah.
You miss every shot you don't take. The Minnesota Wild are on a bit of a tear since they got a new coach, and they're playing the Montreal Canadiens. Le Habs. That's Thursday, December 21st at the XL Energy Center, and we would love to give away some tickets to that very sporting event. And in order to do so, we're going to make 2 callers play a game. Today's game, Tony?
Okay, fella, how about this then? Oh, here we go. Oh,
nope. Oh, nope. The KQ Morning Show presents...
Oh, or nope. Yep. Well, here in the self-proclaimed state of hockey, we're going to give away tickets to see the Wild. So, up north is an area and a lifestyle with its own charms and eccentricities. We're going to present people and things. You tell us, do they have ties to Minnesota or not? Ope or nope?
Oh,
okay then.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, more than fair. Okay.
And then some.
Not Morgan Fairchild, but more than fair.
Well, he's so good though, right?
Oh no, Morgan Fairchild. She's a little looker.
That's how they would say it up north too. She's a looker.
She's a looker.
Yeah.
So we got 2 callers on the hold for Open Nope. Candace, who's caller number 1?
I have 2 sweet ladies on hold, and this one in particular has been trying so hard to get through. She is so excited. Desiree from Isanti.
Desiree, good morning.
Good morning.
Desiree.
It's your day. You made it. Congratulations.
I'm excited. Either way, I'm excited.
Really? That's great. So you've tried before and not had luck. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I will probably die if I end up getting Def Leppard tickets, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, well,
All right.
I don't know how to tell you this. You're playing for hockey tickets today, but listen, you still got time. Def Leppard's not till next summer. Maybe we'll get you back in after a certain amount of time. Right now, we're giving away Wild and Canadiens tickets. Is that still okay with you?
That's okay.
Okay.
Take a breath.
That would have been a lot funny if she would have just slammed the phone down.
Oh, man. You got through, and it was
I think I goofed that up, too.
Did you goof it up, too?
I thought that I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
You know what? In the suite that night, I think they're going to be playing Def Leppard music between the periods.
We'll see what we can do.
They could show up. You never know.
You never know.
Well, how many times are we allowed to win in a month? So if I try again...
Well,
later.
We'll be giving away tickets for a while, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
I'll grab another caller, okay?
Oh, no, Woody and Lisa.
You can't, don't grab another call. I mean, she still has a chance to win Wild tickets. Come on.
I don't think she wants them.
No, you're with it. We got you, Desiree. Hang tight.
Are killing me.
I know. I'm sorry. We're gonna what we're gonna do. We're gonna play the game, and then we're gonna see if we can't make everybody happy by at some point. But right now, Wild tickets is not a bad consolation prize to Def Leppard. Let's just stay the course. Let's just stay the course. Let's play some Ope or Nope. Are you ready, Desiree?
Yes,
big
I'm
Ope.
ready.
All right, let's do it.
Ope.
All right, Desi. Number 1. King Kong held her in his meaty, enormous hand. Oscar and Tony Award winner Jessica Lange. Ope or nope?
Oh. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Ope. She was born in Cloquet, had a home in Stillwater with her love, Sam Shepard.
Man.
Oh, yeah. She's got ties here.
Town all the time, yeah.
Okay.
What a cool couple.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
No kidding.
They just knew it, too. Mm-hmm. Good job, Desiree.
Des, number 2, the phrase, I'm just going to sneak by ya.
Oh. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ever been in the store? Someone's always, I'm just going to sneak by you here.
That's in our vocabulary right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to sneak by you.
Oh, yeah. Sneak by you right here.
It's never a sneak.
I know you say it in other states and they flinch. Like, gee, what are you? I'm just sneaking by. Right. Sounds kind of creepy.
Desiree, number 3, you have more than one favorite place to choose from to get jambalaya. Ope or nope?
Nope. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
A little hard
3
to
for
find.
3. Yeah. Rolling.
Number 4 portrayed Jim Phelps in TV's Mission Impossible, an airline captain in the movies Airplane and Airplane 2, actor Peter Graves. Ope or nope?
Ope. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Minneapolis North grad. He was a polar at North High the same time as my pop, Harold.
Really?
Go Bears.
Yes, he knew Jim.
Wow. My dad was in basic training with George Papard.
Oh, yeah.
They were Marines together.
I love that.
Yeah.
Number 5, Desiree, or your last one here. Delicious Chewy Twizzlers licorice. Ope or nope?
Oh. Ope.
I am sorry. It is nope. They're manufactured in Memphis, Tennessee, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. How about that?
Lancaster.
Lancaster. Pardon me.
with
What did I say?
with your good furniture there too.
I was thinking of Burt Lancaster.
Yep.
Lancaster.
Is that it? 5?
That's it, yes.
So, Desiree, you went 4 for 5, which is great work. Well played. 80% wins more often than not around here. Hang tight, Desiree. Don't go away. We're going to put you on hold. Here comes contestant number 2, Candace. Who is contestant number 2?
Kimberly from Rogers.
Kimberly, good morning.
Good morning.
I know a girl named Kimberly Rogers from Kentucky. True story. But that's not you. You're Kimberly from Rogers.
How do we know?
Sorry. Tangent avoided. So, Kimberly, are you ready for some ope or nope?
Her last name is Tennessee, though.
Alrighty then. I like that. I like a little alrighty then. Let's get to it.
Okay, dear. When a visit is over, you stand in the doorway or hang out in the driveway saying goodbye for 25 minutes. Ope or nope?
Ope. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so Minnesota.
It's so Minnesota. In fact, I remember forgetting something and having to drive back, and Mom's still standing out there crying. Of course, that's South Dakota, but it's East South Dakota. I think we get grandfathered in there. She was still out there. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Go inside.
Just crying because you came back.
She doesn't. Yeah, right?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Number 2, a tall, rich pint of Guinness beer. Ope or nope?
Nope. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, but not Minnesota.
Nope.
Number 3, a gelatinous plate of whitefish, usually cod, soaking in and cured in lye.
Ope. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lutefisk. Which is disgusting.
I was going to say that definition did nothing to whet the appetite for my first lutefisk.
You guys ever tried it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
God, no.
I don't hate it.
Really?
I like weird stuff.
I didn't like it. Although when we were doing it, we were doing shots of a really good vodka over at a holiday party, no less. That's this time of the year is usually when it comes out. That helps grease it a little bit down the old pipe.
Yeah, I've got a thing about food. You have to chug hooch to get it down.
Like, I wouldn't let
avoid it.
sleep over, but I would go out with it,
Okay. Have a little romp.
Interesting.
Lutefisk romp.
All right, Kimberly.
Kimberly, 2 more. Best known for his role as the sensible, stable doctor amidst the madness of the TV show MASH as Captain B.J. Honeycutt. Mike Farrell.
I'd have to say Ope. Yeah.
Correct. He was born in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Wow.
How about that?
Right.
Yeah, he's one of us,
Mike Farrell. Such a funny name for a guy who's so sweet and calm. Farrell. I mean, I'm picturing the F-E-R-A-L.
Right,
but
wild.
Yeah. All right, Kimberly, you're up here. If you get this one right, you're the winner of the day. Good luck to you.
Good luck, Kimmy. The excitement of power and hairpin turns that is Formula One racing. Ope or nope?
Formula One racing. I'd have to say nope. Yeah.
Very good.
Wow.
What? That didn't start. Oh. Who knew?
That was a tough one.
Kimberly ran the table. She's the queen of Ope or Nope. Congratulations. You've got Minnesota Wild versus Canadiens tickets. That's Thursday, December 21st at the XL Energy Center. Go have a blast, Kimberly. Desiree, you did not come through with the win today, but you, as a runner-up, will get a 4-pack of tickets to the Glow Holiday Festival. That is select dates now through New Year's Eve at CHS Field. Desiree, Thank you for the call. Thank you for the energy and the effort and the heart. And we're gonna, good luck to you scoring those Def Leppard tickets eventually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, ladies.
Woody and Lisa gonna have some shots at Def Leppard tickets, and I think because she didn't win, Candace, right? I mean, just a little runner. She can jump back in and win.
You can full on try again because you did not take home those.
I had a little ope. I was looking at tomorrow's liner.
I think what you had was a whoop. Whoop. You put the W in front of there when you make a mistake. Whoop.
I just suck.
There it goes.
Oh boy.
Oh my, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, we should probably limit the things Candace says sometimes on the microphone after making a boo-boo like such.
She's outspoken.
She's outspoken. Is that what that is? That's what you call that? Outspoken?
Yeah.
Stuart Copeland is going to be on the show today at 9:30.
Yes.
Boy, and that's a big deal. I ripped off every drummer I've ever seen, but he's one of the few that I really love, but that I can't point to anything I've ever played and said, this is totally Stuart Copeland, because he's just such a different, he just approaches that instrument from the diametric opposite way that I ever did, just on a feel kind of level. But my God, I love his drumming. Always did. So emphatic and powerful and musical. I'm just thrilled. And he's got this amazing book that he's just written, The Police Diaries. He was keeping a diary through the 70s, and the book basically takes you right up until the police get big. It's just like the early days, and it is fascinating, and I'm so excited to speak with the man.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, December the 12th. In about 30 minutes from now, 9 o'clock, we are going to have in studio Tim Harmston, a great comic who's at Acme next week. And then at 9:30, an hour from now, Stuart Copeland, drummer of The Police and many other amazing projects, will be joining us. He's got a new book out that I have spent the last couple of days going through, and it is awesome. Stuart Copeland, by the way, son of a U.S. diplomat / spy, possibly. Grew up in Beirut, Lebanon, and London, England. His dad was working for the U.S. government. Fascinating cat. His dad was friends with Kim Philby, one of the great double agents in espionage history.
No kidding?
Birds of a feather.
The Copeland family's story is incredible.
Wow. Yeah, I just saw a documentary on Philby not that long ago. I suppose that's where he picked up a lot of his worldly influences in music.
Yeah. It's very true. Miles Copeland started IRS Records, quite famously. Ian Copeland had a booking agency called FBI. They also started a company called CIA. They were just always kind of poking fun at their weird life as kids growing up all around the world. Stuart Copeland spent most of his life when he was in punk bands before The Police in London. He was this weird sort of kid with a bit of an American accent, but he'd only lived in America for a couple months of his life. He was grew up overseas. Fascinating cat. Anyway, looking very forward to chatting with him. You can Google Stuart Copeland and find all this out. Or if you're like a whole lot of people in the Twin Cities, you can Google The Golden Bachelor instead.
Tony, we're looking at you.
I've watched it.
I watched it too. I'm not a Bachelor person, but of course I watched it.
The Twin Cities ranked 3rd in the U.S. for top trending searches on Google for The Golden Bachelor.
Yeah. What was the Minnesota tie-in? Yeah, I saw there was...
Leslie, her name is Fema. Is it Fema? Yes. So he was married.
Leslie Femer?
Fema.
Oh, Fema.
The restaurateur.
That's also weird.
Yes,
Fema.
she's a very well-known family restaurant in the city, and she's awesome. She is an aerobics instructor. She dated Prince. She's just awesome, and
how'd she do?
She got second place.
Yeah, she wasn't picked.
So, but it's good because I think Tony, that she will be the Golden Bachelorette. Isn't that how it works?
That happens a lot. The one who was the most popular and tugged at the heartstrings ends up in the next incarnation, but you never know.
Hold on. Some old silver-haired dude passed up a woman who used to date Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
He
I mean, you're not
sucks.
gonna.
What in the world?
That's a high bar. I mean, every time you're dating her, she's just thinking, you're no Prince, but Prince isn't around anymore. What wasn't he? Didn't he turn out to be? I only read headlines, because we go through this stuff every morning. And
You
I check out all
watched it,
that.
you liar.
I did not watch it, Tony. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Now listen, wasn't he a skis bag though?
Yeah, well, in the beginning,
Yeah.
I was kind of on board, and he seemed like a good guy. Like, he lost his wife, and his daughters had him go on his show, and it was very sweet. But then, it's like so gross. This whole concept of the show, they're all telling each other they love each other, and it's just freaking
after like
weird.
2 weeks, they're all just horrible.
It's like real life.
They never stay together.
It's just creepy. It got really creeped me out towards the end.
So okay, it's weird. I've never watched The Bachelor. Although I know who's the guy Wells Adams who's on those shows? Do you know who that is on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette maybe?
Yeah, the host guy. I don't remember his name.
He's a buddy of mine. He's in Nashville.
Is he?
He's a great guy. Like literally the nicest guy in the world.
Handsome fella.
And a real handsome fella. And I keep thinking I'm not a good friend because I've never watched his show. But anyway, we were doing radio together in Nashville not that long ago.
You should Google it.
And he went on to host a huge show all over the world, and then I came here. But he's half my age and twice as handsome, so it makes sense.
We don't know he's happy.
No, and he married a huge TV star, so I'm sure he's miserable as hell. But I've been meaning to watch The Golden Bachelor. So this is, I peripherally was aware of it. So they get this old guy. His daughters decide they want to be famous, so they convince him to go on The Bachelor. Is that what I heard you say?
I don't have the brain energy to talk about this anymore.
Okay, fair enough. Let me tell you something. When the kids, you can't let your kids talk you into anything in life. That's that's a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
The top 5 trending TV show searches for Minneapolis St. Paul. Golden Bachelor was actually second. The Last of Us, number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Google releases these results. And by the way, you can go online. You can pick go anywhere, basically, and see what the top searches were. The 5th top trending TV show in the Twin Cities was Daisy Jones and the Six, or as I called it, Daisy Jones and the Sucks.
Was it awful? Never saw it.
Like every other show about a band, I watched 9 seconds and went, "Oh, for God's sakes!"
What about the Archies? That was pretty realistic.
That was the most realistic. Yes. The funny thing is, the true story is the most realistic thing about a band ever. Spinal Tap. If you aren't making fun of it, you're missing the whole point.
Oh man.
The top tour search was Taylor Swift Eras Tour, followed by Renaissance World Tour. That makes sense. The 2 biggest tours of the world of the year. Mm-hmm. But here's the other search for Google. You always have blah 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 near me. Coffee near me
every day.
Dry cleaner near me. Top 5 near me searches for the Twin Cities. Number 1. Air quality near me.
The Canadian wildfires
this
summer.
Oh, thank you. Because I was literally going, what the hell? I've totally forgot. That makes perfect sense. Because I moved here from Nashville, which has among the worst air quality in the country. Nashville, Tennessee is awful. It sits in a basin. And the air just goes around it just sits and it doesn't move on. What is now Nashville, Tennessee, never, ever, ever settled by natives. They moved on every time. They recognized hundreds of years ago, the air here sucks. We're getting out of here.
That's interesting.
Give you this crap hole, I guess.
Yeah, no, but Whitey shows up. Hey, it looks pretty good to me, and now everyone has asthma. But number 2 trending Twin Cities near me searches: pawn shop near me.
Pawn shop.
I don't think I've ever searched for a pawn shop in my life.
Well, I suppose inflation. It's all this damn sports gambling. I got me pawning everything. No, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. You're looking for a couple extra bucks. Time to get rid of the garbage. Usually it's a garage sale in Minnesota, but pawn shop will do.
There's a good one in Richfield.
Well,
my mom used to take me there.
Can I ask you a question, Candace? What isn't in Richfield?
I know. It's just the best. I just, I never thought I would end up back there after going to high school to Richfield, But then I ended up back. And
you went to high school? You went to high school there?
I went to high school there.
Wow.
And everyone, wants to get out, angsty teenager. Like, I'm gonna go out and never come back to Richfield. And look at me now.
How's the air quality, though? I know the water's horrible.
Everything's perfect.
How's the air quality near the pawn shops?
It's just great.
By the way, I have no sympathy for anyone who's like, I got to get out of Richfield, which is a part of a major metropolitan area. I grew up in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I ain't feeling bad for you, kid. Number 3, near me searches. Dispensary near me. Now you're talking.
A little early. Yeah. I know. We're all getting excited.
We're not talking about vitamin C. And number 4, Catholic church near me.
Really? Cry for help.
There's a tie-in between something about air quality, pawn shops, weed, and the Catholic Church all makes sense.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and then number 5, flowers near me. That's nice.
Oh yeah,
flowers.
That's guys getting out of the doghouse or a last-minute save. Oh shit, I need some flowers.
Yeah, I looked on this map. You can just click on a lot of different towns. I couldn't find Hopkinsville, Kentucky, but Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I went to college at Western Kentucky, they are the only place in the U.S. where they have the near me top trending search of chicken wings near me.
I respect that.
Yeah, barbers, kayak, rentals, recycling centers, and healthy food all come in 2nd through 5th, but number 1, chicken wings. Right on. What do you think we'd see if we Googled, if we looked at our own Googling histories? Anything
Let's do it.
that we check out that's kind of weird?
Let's look at the last. Everyone say what the last one was.
Okay.
The last thing, just in Google, or the last near me?
Google search.
Let me see if I ever do any near me searches.
Oh my God.
Yeah, USPS near me.
All right.
Needed to find a post office.
Mine's bad.
What is it?
Yours is bad?
I Googled how to abbreviate the F word.
Abbreviate.
Oh, see, okay.
Why are you abbreviating it?
Because I posted a picture on my Instagram yesterday, and I felt like it was aggressive to just type out the whole word. So I was just wondering what the kids were doing, how they were abbreviating.
Nothing.
Sometimes it's important to know what the kids are doing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine's boring too. This was from when I was getting all dressed up a couple of weeks ago. Dry cleaner near me.
Sure.
Lame.
Yeah.
You should have done better. I was expecting more from you.
I could dig a little deeper for you.
Mine because of the game show just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Where are Twizzlers made?
Well.
I know.
Well, where?
Lancaster.
Oh, yeah.
I'm specifically searching under near me for these. So I had USPS near me. I have very few. Golf near me. And then Stop Making Sense near me when I was trying to get a hold of that Talking Heads foam. I guess I'm not nearing me very often. Oh, I also have drugstore near me. Okay. Nothing too embarrassing. Just deleting Korean massage.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Near me.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if that's a thing. Korean massage?
It's right next to the Korean barbecue. They always come in pairs, don't they? You want to go? I always, like pho near me, like a good bowl of. When I get in the mood, I've got to have it now. And there's always that damn massage parlor right next to it.
Well, with me, a lot of times I think that I like to see myself as a human version of a Kobe beef cow. I just want to drink beer and be massaged for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do that. Just want to rub me and pour beer down my throat? Sure.
Oh, and then we'll barbecue you.
But whatever it takes, man. I mean, I'm not going to care by that point.
Yeah, you had a good life.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding? There have been times in my life where that wasn't too far off the course. You know, I was always the guy. Well, the first time I ever got a massage, you know, like a sports massage at joined a gym in Atlanta in the early '90s. Used to play a lot of basketball, and I was still feeling like I was kind of almost in shape. And I got a massage for the first time. A great masseuse, a guy named Ken Fogel, get a 90-minute full body, and within 20 minutes of that massage ending, I was violently ill. I was just puking my guts out.
Toxins, baby.
And he was like, and he said, we might release a lot of toxins here. And then next time I saw him, I explained that to him, and he was like, are you living a healthy life? I was like, oh God, no. Nothing. I play basketball, but that's the only thing that you could put in the check in the green column. Oh, you still play basketball for an hour and a half a day? Yeah. That's great. What are you doing the rest of the time? Well, just eating and drinking a whole lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, just loading up on toxins.
Yeah, just pretty much toxining myself right out of contention.
Don't judge me, Ken.
Massages, they can go either way. They can be great or they can be. I had one time. Before I was heading out to Sturgis one year, I decided I'm going to get a massage. I'm going to be on the motorcycle for about 1,500 miles. I'm exaggerating, of course, but hey, you put on a lot of miles heading out there. Spent a week in the saddle and then on back home. I don't take my trailer out to the bike show, but anyway. I thought I'm going to get a massage this year and just sort of unwind a little bit. And I went to one of those house massages that I found on Craigslist. No, I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for a legit massage and got a legit massage. But I don't know what about this woman that she just hates people, I think. But it was one of these deep tissue massages. I went, let's get in there.
Hell yeah.
And she said to me, if you at any point feel uncomfortable, say something. I was screaming something. The word, something, ow! And she's like, oh, you. I was like, no, that really, your elbow is, and she'd be, I don't know what she was doing back there. I think she had a ball-peen hammer. And
that's so not Sturgis to get massaged and then be in such pain over it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not very biker, is it, though? But if you go to Sturgis, all us Minnesota guys, we're just a bunch of weekend warriors going, oh, this is great, man, just chug some whiskey. Is there a good sushi place nearby?
I love getting massages. One time I got one on Groupon, though, and everything was going all right. It was a man, and all of a sudden, he jumps on the table and, like...
What in the hell?
Literally, like, jumps on the table, like, straddles me, and, like, uses his whole body to, like, massage my back.
Was this a massage or a date?
Right. Yeah. Needless to say.
No, he was a little guy. He was a little, short, and so he fit. But I was like, whoa! But it was great.
Cool. You can't spring that on somebody.
I loved it.
Mention it. Okay.
And then also in that massage, he massaged my butt, which I had never had before.
Glutamus,
which I also loved.
But you got to talk about that ahead of time, don't you?
Nope.
Wow.
I guess not.
Did he jump up on top of there, too?
So that wasn't a
It was great.
That was an ope moment, not a nope moment.
It was great. I guess you're supposed to massage your glutes because they can get real
That's
tight.
a big muscle, yeah.
I found myself during the late 90s, at that point, I had fully embraced the idea of massage, especially on tour. Drumming every night and traveling, it was really great. And I got a lot of massages. A couple times a month I'd get one. And the only problem with that is then you start to really figure out, you can determine within 90 seconds if this massage is going to suck. And then I would lay there for an hour, just like 2 minutes in, I've already decided this person doesn't know what they're doing, or they're just. I'm like, you can put a little more pressure, and they're like, how's this? I'm like, I don't feel anything. Let's go. I need you to dig in there. And I have just had a dozen times in my life, I've just been like counting the seconds for this person to leave the room so I can just be mad about my crappy massage. And then you get the right one, and then you're just like, oh man, I will move to this town. Sir, give me your card. I want to live here. It's just ridiculous.
Good foot massage is amazing. It affects everything in your whole body.
Boy, it can really set you free. There's a great reflexology spot that we've been going to for years. No longer, as it's in Tennessee. But yeah, the Japanese reflexology foot spa. Oh my God, set you free, man. Seriously. Walk out of there floating. Hey, if you miss any part of the KQ Morning Show, you can always catch up with the podcast. Anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want, we are available to you. The KQ Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Candace's very dear friends at
Devani's
Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
There are a lot of Devani's, but there's a really good one in Richfield.
Really? Richfield? You recommend? Richfield has something to recommend. That's great to know.
It's right by the pawn shop.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's the filtering system for the air like there? They get good air down in Richfield?
Yeah, real crisp.
Beautiful. Love it. All right, let's get on with it.
Yeah, you know what we could have used for Ope or Nope today, Minnesotan or not? Tim Harmston. Ope or Nope?
Harmston.
Is a big
I'm going to say Ope
there.
He's got to be. I think he
Minneapolis. I don't know if he is.
Yeah. I was just at a party at his house, actually. We had a,
there you go.
What's the name of that drink with, like, the goopity gop in it? Like the eggnog.
Goopity gop. Tom and Jerry.
Yes, Tom and Jerry.
Candace, I think you just dropped something.
What?
Your celebrity friend's name. Oh, yeah, I was just at his house.
Having goopity gops.
I'm in the community, man.
That's right.
Gops. Okay, well,
your
great.
good buddy, Tim Harmston, joining us here at 9 o'clock. Acme shows next week. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, December the 12th. And I would advise you, especially if you are a Scorpions fan, to listen up, because I got some news for you. The Scorpions are returning to Vegas with their brand new Love at First Sting Las Vegas residency with special guest Ugly Kid Joe. They of the I Hate Everything About You fame. This April 11th to May 3rd. That's at the Backed Theater at Planet Hollywood. And we want to send you to opening night. One winner is going to score a trip for two, including round-trip air, 2-night stay at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino, dinner for two before the show, 2 premium tickets to the concert, plus an autographed Scorpions poster.
Damn.
Text the national keyword Vegas to 95819 now to enter for your chance to win. Holy smokes, we're going to send someone to Vegas. That's pretty cool of us.
Yeah, dude.
We're so cool around here, we get guys like Tim Harmston to stop by. Tim is at the Acme Comedy Company next weekend. Wednesday is sold out. Thursday is sold out. Friday, 2 shows. Saturday, 2 shows. Those will also be as soon as, before those come up, sold out. So get tickets now at acmecomedy.com. Tim, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's happening?
I am just excited to be here, and I'm excited to get back to Acme next week because
knock it off.
Yes.
What's your problem?
I come in
Give
like
me that radio crap. I'm thrilled to be here. You got a beef? What is it?
Okay, I'm going to Vegas. You were just talking about sending somebody to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks after I get done recording my album at Acme next week, and I get so angry when you're there because it's changed so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not cool enough anymore.
Oh, God, no.
Vegas is just so cool. But I go to that pool.
Yeah.
And where all the people are like drinking like tequila and champagne and stuff. And
sure.
I'm like, I'm still taking my shirt off. I don't care. And every time I take my shirt, I feel like there's a security camera that just zooms in on me. Like, they're like, we've got a frozen badger by pool 3. And
that's it.
An alarm goes off. And then a pool employee comes out and he's like, hi, sir, we noticed you took your shirt off. Could we perhaps interest you in our Wisconsin pool? It's a 5-ton dumpster in the hotel loading dock filled with Busch Light and onion rings.
Telltale indicators to the crack security teams in Vegas. He's not cool enough for this resort. Were you ever cool enough for Vegas? I mean, were any of us, not just you.
I love Vegas. I've been every year since I was 19.
What year was that? Like first time?
1994, maybe?
Okay. My first time was 1990.
Oh.
And I was given $100 with which to gamble. It lasted 4 minutes. I kid you not. And $100 to me back then was $10,000. But what I remember was we played a gig there the first time. There was a club called Calamity Jane's, and we played. And people were at that time saying, I don't know, man, it's just not as cool as it used to be. Like, anywhere you go, everyone thinks it used to be cooler. Yeah. And people were saying, like, the Strip, it's so big now. And Vegas of 90 looks like a tiny little podunk town compared to what it is now. It's absurd.
It's absurd. And I used to stay at the Riviera, which I think they tore down.
Yeah. And you and Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
The Riviera, baby.
Get your Players Club. Hi, I'm Telly Savalas. No, it's where they filmed Casino. And
right.
And you walk into the Riviera, it's great. And then I remember one night I was there playing craps and having a good time. And they're like, folks, if you'd like to step outside, they're going to blow up the Frontier or whatever the hotel was. So everybody quit playing craps, walked out onto the street. There's this like, boom. And then everybody's like, well, that was cool. And then they just walk back in because we're all degenerates. And
you can never go wrong with an announcement. Do you want to see something blow up? The answer is always, of course I do. Building, car, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Tim Harmston's in studio. He's at Acme all next week. This might seem like it's coming out of left field, but are you familiar by any chance with porcupine protocols?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I was just telling Candace about the porcupine problem we're having up north, and
Tim, you and your wife, the lovely Mary Mac, have got a porcupine issue.
Yeah, and
that's not a euphemism.
And no, it's not a euphemism. It's a reality, Steve. And if you look at these, if you Google porcupines, like go to their Wikipedia page.
Sure.
Nothing. I mean, they're adorable, but nothing good. Like they live to be 50. They.
That alone. What kind of gall do they have?
I know. It's like, what are you doing? You know, you're supposed
50.
to. Yeah, they're not like mice. They don't just kind of come and go. If they find a place they like, they stick around forever. So it's kind of like they're like squatting on our property, and we have 2 dogs, and we don't want them to get, you know.
And so a porcupine in 50 years, that's a lot of barbs.
Yeah,
they can spread out throughout the animal kingdom.
Well, and they like to live under structures, and they'll make a nest, and then they'll hang out. And they actually, there's a case where the porcupines got on some lady's Wi-Fi, and they started ordering all these Amazon packages.
That's so porcupine.
God. So I've been spending the whole morning on YouTube researching porcupine trapping videos. So if anybody has any,
it's called a 12 gauge.
Yeah, or it's called wear gloves. That's the first thing that pops out.
What do you lure them with? What do they like?
It's salt. They crave salt. So the one I watched this morning, the lady cut up a bunch of apples and put them in a Ziploc bag with salt, and then that was the trap, because they can sense salt and they come in. It's like I might make like margaritas or something. And
a hard time opening the bag, though. That's cruel.
Yeah. No. Well, you put the.
I know.
Whereas for me, I love salt as much as the next guy, but there's inflammation to think about.
Yeah.
These are serious concerns.
Yeah. High blood pressure.
Yeah.
I don't want
They're
these
blind,
porcupines.
dude. They're blind. Did you know they're blind?
No.
Yes, this is what this 10 fun facts about porcupine thing.
Not all of them.
It says they're blind, but they have good ears.
Yep, and they talk. Does it mention that? Because I'm not joking when I say this. The first time we knew we had a porcupine, we thought someone was standing outside our window, because it was and so Mary like opens up the window, and she's like, hello? He's like, and what is, and so we had to like get a spotlight, and we turn it on, and there's this little porcupine looking at us. And
he wasn't. He wasn't lying. He's pretending to look at you.
He was talking to us. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll send Candace an update when we figure out what we've done with this. So.
Wow, you guys are getting run off your land by a 9-pound blind thing. That's an indication of something. I'm not sure what. No, your humanity, it speaks volumes that you haven't, as Zep said, just simply loaded a couple of shells into a shotgun and taken care of this.
I've thought of it.
Oh, man. We were talking about Googling stuff earlier. If you want a kind of a sick laugh, Google dog and porcupine. We had a couple of dogs that got into porcupines, and they come back with this quill beard. You can't help but laugh, and their eyes are just like, help me.
So you have a couple dogs. What size dog? What kind of animals are we talking about here?
Well, they're of the hound variety. They're just mutts, but one is about 50 pounds, and one dingo is about 50. And
Dingo,
Benny,
you're so cute.
yeah, they're great, but they're curious, and so they're gonna go out. I know they're gonna go out and try to find what this thing is. And I did. That's a part of the video I watched. It was the getting the quills out of the dog. And at some point, you just go to the vet, and it's a $1,500 bill. So I'm like, I got to take care of this.
That's problematic. I've never seen a porcupine. I mean, I've seen one like at a nature center, but I've never seen one in the wild. But I've had a dog sprayed right in the face by a skunk. That's a whole nother type of hell. Yeah, clearly.
Well, if I catch him, I'll bring him in, Steve.
Would you? That'd be great. Wow, this is so. And you said, wait, they live to be 50, and they're really they're not so much pioneers, but settlers. They like to stay put.
Yeah, they don't like to travel. So.
Yeah. I wonder if there's remember the old those habit trails for hamsters and gerbils? Yeah. You could build these tunnel systems through your house. Maybe you could just dig some trenches and connect them and give them a mini little windmill he can run through and stuff.
Put some salt down, just a trail of salt.
Just a trail of salt.
Bag of chips. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. All right. Well, that's life in the Northwoods, I suppose.
Yeah.
I didn't even know porcupines were a thing. I didn't know what part of the world they lived in. I know nothing about them. But I'm happy to know that you've got something to keep your mind occupied through the holidays. Merry Christmas.
You want another fun fact?
Sure, let's have it.
Female porcupines use sexual toys.
To do what?
Okay.
I don't know. That's all it says. It doesn't explain.
Sell them on
Hold
eBay.
on, let me I gotta scroll down here.
Okay. Well, while you're researching the sexual proclivities of porcupines,
wow.
Tim, do you have more for us?
No.
Tim, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in western Wisconsin, Menominee. Yeah, about an hour and a half from here. So.
Or as I say, Menominee, because I never know how to pronounce
Nobody
certain words.
ever knows.
Menominee.
Yep.
And so at what point were you the class clown? Were you the guy who was keeping it all under the hood? Like, I'm a lot funnier than these people. They won't understand me. How did it start, man?
No, I was the class clown, and I would read the morning. You know how when you're in high school, they had the morning announcements?
Sure.
And the principal is kind of like this wooden, like old school principal, and I'm like, let me handle this. And then so my buddies that we do like Hans and Franz, if I'm dating
absolutely,
myself.
Sure, a little SNL.
Yeah, a little SNL. We would do, and so and then I went off and I worked in the film business for. I was a prop master for about 15 years, and that was great. I went to film school, but then. I just thought I got to do something for me, and I got to be creative for myself. And so I came back to the Twin Cities, started comedy at the Mall of America.
Yeah, not a bad place to start comedy. The Twin Cities.
Met my wife, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
Wow, a dual comedian marriage. I mean, your guys aren't trying to out comedy each other. I assume you have other levels of communication beyond just being funny.
Yeah, it's not like we got to put an extra vent on the roof to let out all the extra chuckles. the first alert chuckle alarm.
Chuckle vent. I like that. That's a good strong situation there.
Sorry.
Oh no, please.
Oh, I was gonna say we don't really talk about comedy. Everybody is always like, you know what? Have you heard that podcast? Have you seen? And Mary and I are just like happy to not.
Yeah.
We'd like to do it, save it for the stage. That's kind of our motto.
No, that makes sense. So, but as a kid though, you were clued in and keyed in. I'm sure. Who were your favorite comics going back when you first started paying attention?
Well, someone gave me the Steve Martin King Tut thing, and that was just that was everything.
Yeah,
I'm sure people in my generation, if you heard that album, it was so groundbreaking. And it was like 1977, 76.
Yeah, I was 12 in 77, and my sister had Let's Get Small, the first album, and she would have friends that come over to the house just to sit and stare at a speaker and listen to a comedy album. That was a night out. And so I was, very, very big on that. Music, were you a music fan growing up?
Huge.
First concert you ever saw?
Aerosmith and Dokken, St. Paul Civic Center.
Wow.
Circa 1986, 87. That was Toys in the Attic.
With Dokken. Toys in the Attic, 70s.
I was thinking, I thought I might be asked that question.
Yeah.
And that was, the second concert I saw was Def Leppard at the Met.
Okay.
In Bloomington.
Wow.
And it was a hot summer night, and I took my shirt off. I'd been playing football, and all the guys had their shirts off.
Sure they did. Sure they did. You thought you were at a Vegas pool.
Yeah. And that was the last time I remember feeling buff.
It's been a minute. Yeah, I look back and I think about all the times. I can't say I was ever in shape. I was just less out of shape. That's how I gauge it. Yeah. Last time I took off a shirt at something like that, been a minute, been a hot minute for sure. Tim Harmston's going to take his shirt off next week at Acme. Wednesday and Thursday sold out. Friday 7 and 9:30. Saturday 7 and 9:30. I imagine you've done Acme more than a few times.
This will probably be my 15th time.
Nice.
So, yep.
Nice. Holiday content? Are you talking holiday stuff ever? You work that in, or
I don't know.
It's a little too low hanging fruitish.
No, it's not. It's everybody goes through it, but I'm recording my album, so it's like.
Oh, you did mention that a minute ago, and I meant to get right back there. So this is kind of cool, man.
Yeah, and so there's really not any holiday content on the album, but I'm recording Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday I won't be recording. So Saturday I'm going to probably let loose a little bit.
Cut loose.
Get some new stuff in there. But I'm just trying to put everything on wax, as they say. And,
I like it.
And then, comedians have this thing where you record an album, and then it's sort of like this catharsis where you move on to the next hour of material.
Yeah, of course.
And
sure.
I'm just so itching to and I've written a bunch of stuff the last couple months, and I'm just excited to get it all down and then
break free
and then break free and start again.
Speaking of Steve Martin, he had the great line on Let's Get Small. He goes, "You guys are going to be on a record, man." And the whole crowd cheers. He goes, "Maybe someday. I mean, I don't know. Could be." It's pretty great. Tim Armston next week at Acme. Friday and Saturday night tickets are still available. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Before you go, we got to clear this up. So, female porcupines.
Right. I can't wait to ask Stuart Copeland if he knows about porcupines.
They use sticks, twigs, and other objects to stimulate their sexual organs.
Thanks for the update, Candace. Boy, that's going to change your approach to dealing with these porcupines.
Yeah, I've got to readjust my strategy.
No assault, set a stick out.
Ooh, man. All right, Tim, it's a pleasure, brother. Hey, Stuart Copeland, legendary drummer, with us next at 9:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Steve Gorman, this is the KQ Morning Show. On August 17th, 1982, which was my 17th birthday, I went to Nashville to the Municipal Auditorium to see The Police on the Ghost in the Machine tour.
Yeah.
And the English Beat opened.
Oh, great.
And no person has ever been happier on planet Earth than me that day, start to finish. Woke up going, oh my God, it's finally here. I've been waiting all summer. Went to the gig. The English Beat was awesome. The Police were awesome. I floated out of that arena that night, and it was one of the signature nights, like so many, where I was like, I've got to be in a band one day. I've got to do that. And that was what I would walk away from any gig thinking that, but that one was particularly magnetic and just kind of mind-boggling to me, just watching both those bands. And the Police were still, it's crazy to think, that was 1982, and they were still only like 4 years into international consciousness at that point, and they only had 1 year left, really. Because shortly after that gig, within a year, Synchronicity was out. They did that tour, and by 84, they were done. Like the Police hit it and quit it. The best version ever. 5 albums, 5 years, see you later. Yeah. I think that, as much as I love the bands that go for the long haul, most bands, that's how you're supposed to do it. Hit it and quit it. Get on with it.
Many more of us would have liked to have seen them in concert. They came and went, so like you said, and I was stuck in the middle of South Dakota until 1984. So, yeah, I didn't get to see the Police, certainly back then, tour. But Ghost in the Machine was a cassette that I rated from Corey Tyler.
Sure.
The older brother of, or not Corey Tyler, Barry Tyler. Corey Tyler was in my class. Barry Tyler was a few years older.
Right.
And I snagged that Ghost in the Machine and lived with that. Then Zenyatta Mendata was out, I think, the year before. And so I grabbed that one. And then they were the biggest band in the world a couple of years later.
Yeah, we were very much a Police house, me and my brothers. And right now, I'm very happy to say Stuart Copeland's on the horn with us. Stuart, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you in Minneapolis there, and St. Paul.
Well done. Always got to remember both. Stuart
Hey, wait, let's do that there. Good morning, St. Paul.
There he is.
How y'all doing? And Minneapolis.
That's a professional right there, ladies and gentlemen. Stuart, first of all, I was just explaining I spent my 17th birthday with you on the Ghost in the Machine tour in Nashville. So thanks for that night. It was pretty great.
Cool.
And secondly, thanks
I got your money.
You certainly did. Thanks for the book.
Spend it wisely.
I don't doubt that for a second. You always struck me as a little brighter than the average bear in the rock world.
Shucks.
Stuart Copeland's Police Diaries. Had these diaries been sitting in a temperature-controlled bank vault for years, or did you just find them in an old snare case?
I found them in an old snare case,
Nice.
actually in an old drawer, because they're very tiny. They're tiny little books, maybe 2 inches by 3 inches, and so they don't take up much space.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know, I've been asked as I've been out promoting the book, why do you keep them? Answer, I don't know. I assumed that my eventual inevitable world domination would import some, would bestow some importance on these scribblings. Who knew that would actually thus transpire?
It's a weird thing when you have the duality of, well, of course this is going to matter, and what am I doing? Like a lot of musicians, that's exactly.
Well, I can tell you that every band, every artist has that same delusion of grandeur.
Of course,
whether you ever heard of them or not, you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't think one day the world shall be mine.
Well, it's exactly right. No, every band that didn't have that feeling, you never heard of them. You have to be similarly deluded. And the Police, who, as I just said, boy, 5 years, 5 records, hit it and quit it like few bands ever. I look at the Police as a spectacular testament to the fact that great bands are really, at the end of the day, simply about chemistry, because you three guys make no sense on paper.
Well, yes and no. As people, we're so different. Mm-hmm. My God, are we even hatched on the same planet?
Right.
Very different, but mutually complementary. And the amazing thing was that we stuck together before we had any songs, before Sting even knew he could write hit songs, before Andy even joined, which is when Sting discovered that he could write great songs with Andy's huge guitar vocabulary. That just kind of opened it all up. But before that, we starved for like a year and a half. Just all we had was that bass player is the bass player for me. Just the chemistry that we had, like you say, it was just the chemistry. We're in the right place with the right guy, even though this guy's kind of mysterious and strange. I'm noisy and shallow. He's quiet and deep. And yet, when he plugs in that bass, stuff happens.
Sure.
Even though we didn't have good songs to play, we didn't have Roxanne or any of those, just this rhythm section was a killer rhythm section.
But clearly, you guys were cooking from the start. I mean, I remember as a kid when I put on the first album, my brother brought it home from college. I'm like in 8th grade, and I'm air drumming along, and just over and over and over. We just played So Lonely. I still get excited. The vibe in those tracks is undeniable. So I that makes sense to me that you guys have nothing, but you knew at least that. Like, this is real.
Yeah.
More than a lot of musicians.
And then we ran into Andy Summers.
Yeah, right.
And that's another weird thing, is that Andy, when we met him at a session, Sting and I were the hot rhythm section, and we show up at a session, and the guitarist on the session is Andy Summers. And in he walks, and he's like a super triple scale guy, which means you pay him 3 times what you'd pay anyone else.
Right.
Legend. And he's played on everybody's record, and he walks in, and we driving home from that session that day, we're just seeing, oh man, a real guitarist. If only we had a real guitarist. And little did we know that Andy saw that rhythm section and said, hey, those guys are cool. And so this is the really weird part, is that he had it all going on for him, and he threw it all away, canceled all of his clients to join a fake punk band going nowhere called The Police. And I've asked him recently, Andy, what were you thinking? And he said, I don't know, mate. Should have stuck with Neil Sedaka. And he hadn't heard Roxanne. He didn't know the material either. It was just, at that time it was my dumb songs, until Sting started writing the cool stuff.
Right. Well, but see, that's perfect. I mean, all three of you understood something, whether, like I said, on paper it might not make sense, but there's something far beyond that. And thankfully, for me as a fan, you guys figured that out. A lot of musicians, more than most, will look back at the yearning years, those hungry days, and they won't necessarily say they miss it, but they value that the most. And it sounds like you're on that list, because that's obviously when it all came together.
Well, the weird thing is I look at the page. It's just struggle, strife, turmoil, and struggle. It's a story of struggle, but don't worry, folks. It does get very cheerful.
Yes, it does.
And but I don't remember anything but optimism at the time. Occasionally on the page I say, well, I've got nothing, I'm going nowhere, the world is going to crush me like an ant, momentarily, but then by the next morning, I'm raging again, with no evidence that anything good is going to happen.
Again, the delusion, hugely important.
The delusion that sustains all life.
Stuart Copeland's Police Diaries are available pretty much everywhere. It's easy to look back and wax poetic about the good old days. For me as a kid at these years, a fan at the time, but it still holds up in my mind. The late 70s to mid 80s is like the most explosive time since really the 50s when rock and roll first hit, because of punk and the new wave kind of all that time. It just seemed like there was more, the widest net ever in music history was accessible to people. Does that check out to you?
Well, that's because you're a human. Right. And humans are like ducks.
Yeah.
And when a duck comes out of his, you know that, of course. No, when a duck comes out of its egg, the egg hatches and it pokes its beak out and looks at the world. The first warm thing it sees is mama.
Nice.
Now humans, when we hit 16, and our hormones start raging, and we want to start busting out of our shell, the first raging rock star guitar who's burning it all down, that's your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was the Rolling Stones and the Beatles.
Right.
And for you, given the year that you were born, it sounds like it might have been the Police.
It was
and
right
it's
there
a
with
strange
them.
thing about the hierarchy of rock and roll. When I meet Beatles, I must bow and scrape because they are above me. They, the hierarchy is very simple. It's chronological. They came before me.
Yep.
Therefore, they are above me.
Yeah.
And the Foo Fighters, who are humongous, stadium act playing all over the place, I am above them simply because I came before them. I was 20 minutes before them. When they were 16, I was in my glory days. So they... that bandwidth, Rage Against the Machine, Foo Fighters, Tool, Primus, and so on, that bandwidth, they all look at me like I'm some kind of Beatle or something, but then Ringo walks in the room and, he's the Beatle, and I serve the master.
Yeah, of course. Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm a card carrying Ringo guy myself from day one.
Yeah.
So as you guys exploded, though, let's go back to those days, late '70s, and as you're taking over the part of the world that you took over, how did that feel? Because you're coming from a punk mindset, but then you're rubbing elbows with the Stones and the Beatles and the Who. Did it feel? Is that a disconnect that's only in press and people writing about music, or did you feel a little different as well?
Well, the punk stance was fake anyway, so I was, before the Police, I was in a prog rock band, which I kept quiet about until suddenly, last few years, prog has become cool again, so I'm now out of the closet. Yep, I was prog in Curved Air.
Of course.
Yeah, and the whole punk thing was a stance. It was a uniform. Yeah. It was the only way to get gigs, because those are the only clubs hiring, was to put on leather jacket, shades, and spit at the audience. For some reason those days, audience loved that stuff.
And you were good at all three.
Well, no, for me, it was more of a challenge because I was back of the stage behind a drum set. You could not hurl that phlegm with I'd probably just hit Sting in the back of the head or something,
Yeah, he was asking for it. We all know that's true. Stuart Copeland's Police Diaries.
Hey.
I say that because that's all singers, not just Sting.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Yeah,
but he's a heck of a bass player, so he gets a pass.
There's no doubt about that. Stuart Copeland's Police Diaries are available everywhere. I did see you mention that after this entire thing's over, that's the end of the P word for you. So what is next? Have you got a new musical thing you're pursuing? What's happening?
Well,
what can you share
unfortunately,
with us?
I would love to plug it because I'm so excited about it, but the only thing I'm superstitious about is talking about things before they're ready.
Great. Well, when it is ready.
I'm real busy, and it has nothing to do with the Police.
Beautiful.
Although, I've enjoyed the Police ride. I've got the book. I've been out there playing. I was in your town playing with your big bad symphony there, playing Police Deranged for Orchestra. I love it. I've been having a terrific time, but I'm ready to go back to my own mission. And I'm real excited to whip that out when the time comes.
When that time comes, I hope we can have you back on to talk about it. It is an absolute pleasure. It's 40 years of waiting for me, sir. An honor. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, every now and again. Get lucky around here. Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah. All right. Take care, you guys.
You got it. There it is. That's a guy I literally have been dying to talk to since 1978. Wow,
yeah, you could tell the genuine appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Right
Drummer
on.
Chat here on KQ. A couple of smart whips, you two. Not bad.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Replay it tomorrow morning? Maybe.
The KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.